Yeah, welcome back. This is the big issue. My guest, John Darko of the NPP and Abraham Malibu of the NDC. Earlier, we heard from Vitus Azim. We'll hear from some more people as well. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0204447033 or 0549986996. This one from Prince Henry in Koforidua says, good morning, Salom. If the former president, John Mahama, was investigated by the OSP and the NPP saw nothing wrong with it, why should Kanofurata not be investigated? Is Kanofurata above the laws of Ghana? Where was the NPP when the OSP was investigating former President Mahama? The NPP and Anabi should allow the special prosecutor to work, because Ghana must work and will work again under the NDC-led government. Let us support the NDC, led by Mahama, to give us a Ghana we want. Hashtag the big issue. That's from Prince Henry in Koforidua. So the Attorney General has been busy dropping cases against some personalities of the NDC in the past regime. A number of cases, really. The Republic versus Ato Forcing and Japa, the Republic versus Fusampofo and another. We have the Republic versus Collins Dowda and many other people. The Republic versus Ernest Thompson and some other people as well. Republic versus Stephen Opuni and another, and quite a number of other cases. Of course, the case of Republic versus Vormawor and Ama Governor and all of those were also discontinued, but those ones don't appear to be gaining traction so much because people actually didn't think that those cases should go to court in the first place. So that's what we are looking at generally, interrogating the reasons the Attorney General has given for withdrawing those cases. But Doctor, let me take your view on the Vormawor and the Ama Governor matters. I mean, they were just demonstrating and the state bundled them, put them in cell for some time. The courts denied them bail and they were standing trial, you know.
Well, I mean,
they were demonstrating against Galamsey.
Well, I mean, we see how all these people come back to demonstrate against Galamsey after the election. But look, as a lawyer, I believe that some cases shouldn't be prosecuted. In fact, not even as a lawyer, as a politician, I think that when you prosecute some cases, you give those people some matter, tack. Ama Governor and those people shouldn't have been prosecuted. But, I think at the time they had destroyed some public properties, and one may want to justify. But I thought that politically it wasn't a smart decision to prosecute them. But no, what I feel that the withdrawal of those cases with these ones is just to show to the public that we are not only withdrawing cases against big NDC people.
But you said the cases were just about big NDC.
Yeah, so the idea is just to bring these two as a way of saying that it's not only against big NDC people. But anyways, I think that it's okay that they've withdrawn those cases against the two people. Yes, they really didn't cause financial loss to the state, and so it's okay. I hope and believe that Ama Governor and Vormawor, they will, take this as a lesson and at least try to conduct themselves well. They are lawyers, I guess, and make the profession proud. I'm happy that they've been let off the hook here.
All right.
It only shows how vindictive the Attorney General was.
But he was doing his job. If
but you do your job. What if you have
things which were wrong?
If you are vindictive, you arrest some of these people who are demonstrating, and rather leave the Galamseyers. So that's the issue that I want to focus on. It can also tell you that if he can do this to people who are not his direct opponents, then his direct opponents who are in court.
No, but are you saying that if people are demonstrating and they do wrong things, we should leave them off the hook because it will be perceived as going after people who are opponents?
I am saying that you can handle this humanely.
Like how?
You've already kept them in prison. How many days? 4, 5 days, 1 week?
About 2 weeks.
These are not common criminals who have stolen something. That alone is enough. That alone is
But it was
enough.
the court. It was the
That
court.
is no, you. But why he can discontinue it against them?
The thing is that
He can discontinue, John.
Even though I'm happy that they release them, right?
John,
But see, let's not
why you always?
it never
You are
happened.
taking my time.
Even in the US, those who went to the Capitol Dome,
You see, because
some of them
Trump
went to
has released
jail. Exactly.
You see.
But I'm just saying that it
Because-
happened even in the bigger democracies. So yes, I'm happy that this.
But here you are saying that you don't think those things should have been prosecuted.
Yes,
He's
I'm
saying
just
that,
saying that, look.
he's saying that they should have been done, they could have been done humanely.
You see?
So you are saying the same thing.
No, but I just want him to understand that.
No, but you cannot
when
control my
people
submissions. You see, I'm now in government, so I want to conduct myself well.
Okay.
Have you noticed that?
So before you're not conducting yourself
No,
well.
I want to,
You want to be general. It's not director general.
No.
You want to be director general.
No,
Is this
no,
right?
when you are in opposition,
You have to be aggressive.
you have to be aggressive. Now I have the bone in my mouth.
So you're true.
I can't be backing.
So your mouth is full.
If I back
The food will fall.
the phone,
So now your
the
mouth
bone.
is full.
So give me my space. You know,
You have it, my brother. You have it.
give my space.
Now that you've admitted that
So-
your mouth is full of bones.
So, not me too, but bones, if you like to chew bones. So the point is clearly that if you had an attorney general who didn't see himself solely as doing the bidding of the government of the day, you have some of these things happening. And he has admitted that such things, you could have just allowed them to go. And there are some arrests, when you make them, you make the people become heroes. And they become martyrs. And the way he was going about it, in fact, with the case of this Vormawor, there were some of the things that he should have just allowed to pass and nobody will hear about Vormawor. But he virtually made Vormawor a martyr. So you don't need to use state power in such a way as to want to use a sledgehammer to kill an ant. You know, from the way he was conducting himself, any listing, Godfrey Dami wants to use state power to coil it. But that wasn't how I thought an attorney general should conduct himself. So these cases that were removed, particularly the demonstrators, it's a clear indication of how vindictive he was as an administrator.
I see. Now let's deal with the OSP. Let's start with the raid. The raid on Kanofurata's house, Amaliba. How did it come to you? Was it something? Is this something you anticipated? Something you support? Or what's your thoughts on the so-called raid? We didn't know anything about it.
For me, I've been around since President Kufuor took over from President Rawlings. Yes, I've been around, and this comes to me as déjà vu. I must say that even under this administration, we've not seen so many raids.
So you want more rates?
I've not seen so many raids under this administration.
That's interesting.
And I am not asking for more, but I think that it's beginning to slow down. I know that no less a person than former President Mills, when he was a former vice president's house, was raided. When he was away, like Ken is away, he was lecturing in South Africa, was it Canada?
Yeah.
His wife, the old lady, they went there and traumatized her.
But
I've seen that.
We condemned it.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen that. I'm just giving you the history. So, has it now gotten to a point where we have to draw a line? Because they face it, we have faced it. And that's how I like life to be. You do me, I do you, then we all come back and say, hey, let's sit down and talk about this. So, we've done to each other. Can we now come back and say that never again? We can do these things in a way that is acceptable in a democracy. Nobody is saying that Ken Ofurata's house should not be searched. He shouldn't be invited or he shouldn't be arrested. But the Rambo style, where in the morning at dawn, as if these are people who have booked their planes to.
Normally, the raids are done at dawn. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. Because maybe
Yes.
the person for sure is in the house.
He's in the house sleeping, yes. He's not left. So these traumatized children of such politicians and wives and family who are living with them, can we as a people now say that time has come for us, as it were, to draw a line and say we won't do that again? But did Ken bring this upon himself? And I'm here trying to distinguish the OSP from the raid. When you look at the letter written by his lawyers, did his lawyers help him? I say no. Because come to think of it, the lawyers were saying that if they want to interrogate Ken Ofori, they are there to be interrogated. Can you imagine? Are you the subject matter? Who are the lawyers of Ken? They wrote that letter. And for me, it was wrong for the lawyers to write back to say that they don't even know when Ken is coming.
No. So you
see,
think that's the reason why they raided him?
Now the two are not connected.
I'm not connecting the two.
Now the two are not connected. So, but
because he said he
what
brought it
should
upon himself.
No, he's asking a question. What did he bring it upon himself? Whether the lawyers should have, but they didn't have the date, and they were just relaying to the special prosecutor what the client had told them, that I'm scheduled for this at this time. Depending on what happens, I may be able to come at this time or not. So there was no definite time.
Yes, so I'm saying that I have been to Yoko before. One, I can mention the man's name. There are two I went. One is Ashai, the MP for Tema East. He was then doing his master's. He was invited by Yoko. I wrote to the Yoko back and told them that my client is not in town, but I'll find out from him when he will make himself available. Then it was one Nana, who was the deputy Nana, as if you've worked at the Yoko before. He's called Nana something. So I'll get back to him and get an understanding of when he will come. He said there's no problem about that. Then I got back to him. He said he was doing his master. There will be, semester break, and then during this period. So we'll fix a date. And I wrote back to them, and they said they agree. Is Ken Ofori saying that we all know he was sick whilst governing this the finance ministry? Is Ken Ofori telling us that he's bedridden and cannot walk? Is that his predicament?
We don't know.
No. Because we have seen
but your
him.
own example defeats the explanation you are giving.
No, you let him conclude.
You are not listening.
We'll deal with that. Yeah.
That you can get your client to give the institution that is calling you a date that you think you can come. But to say you won't come. So indeed.
He didn't say he won't come.
No, he said that.
The difference between the Ashai one and this one, there's a structured system, school, semester. You know when vacation will come.
I don't want you to think that
but
there was the letter written didn't say that they don't know when he's coming back.
No, but they said things could get, this health.
And I'm saying that they wrote that in that letter. The impression was clear. They don't know when you come back. You know that. And I'm saying that you don't write such a letter to an institution looking for your client who is a subject matter of a criminal offense. You don't say that. No, so if you don't know when it's coming, the investigation should stop. There was also another issue that I thought they could have tempered with, they dealt with or averted their minds to, by saying that, is it possible for an officer to come to the UK or wherever he is to interrogate him because of his predicament? Is it possible? That could have been another suggestion if they thought their client was not able to come within a reasonable time. But to make it look like everything must come to a standstill till Ken Ofori on his own volition decides to walk in here, I think that is unacceptable. And so the lawyers' letters is what triggered the the OSP's letter of declaring him as wanted. Because you can't give us a date he will come. You can also tell us that, we are willing to be interrogated, but can we suggest in this way? It was wrong for the lawyers to even say that they are available. When did lawyers?
No, maybe just to provide information or documents. But just hold your thoughts there. Let me speak to Nia Ikwe Otu, the Honorable former Attorney General of our Republic. He's joined us on the line with a few thoughts. Hello, good morning, sir. Welcome to the big issue. I know you followed this week with a lot of interest. Let's start from the OSP. What do you make of the OSP's press conference and the matters he raised, principal amongst them being the declaration of the former finance minister as a wanted person?
Okay, thank you. I know that he has been roundly condemned by all well-meaning lawyers of good standing and Ghanaians in general. You don't declare somebody a fugitive from justice when you have not even charged the person. All you are asking of him to do is to appear before you and help you with investigations. In that investigation, it is for you to conduct it, because at the end of the day, you are the one going to prove the guilt of the accused, and not for him to prove anything. The burden of proof is on you. Secondly, you are aware that the person is presumed innocent until he is otherwise proven guilty. So if all you want is for him to come in, help you with investigation, how do you declare him a fugitive when you don't even have any arrest warrant saying that he should be arrested, and that you are looking for him, you cannot find him? Again, we all know from the press and the media that the lawyers wrote to you telling you his whereabouts. Again, before he left Ghana, he wrote to inform the chief of staff, former as well as the current. So if you know the whereabouts of somebody, how do you still say that the person is a fugitive from justice? I see him as sometimes being too full of himself, thinking of his independence as an independent person. But he has forgotten that the power to prosecute under the Constitution lies with the Attorney General. And the Attorney General can easily enter a nolle prosequi, and to stop all prosecutions that maybe he is doing. He is doing so because he's an agent of the Attorney General. So I would not immediately call for his dismissal. I would say, try to heed the advice of Obama, who said that we need to build strong institutions instead of strong men. And therefore, let's help him to, do the right thing, and then we will benefit from that office when it comes to fighting corruption. If you ask me, the next thing is that for what he has seen, the backlash that he has received, I think he will now tread a little cautiously with this matter. Give the man time, let him go through his medicals, then return to the country so you can deal with him. Although you can monitor through his lawyers to know when exactly it's going to arrive and all that. So that would be my take on it.
But the other concern too is that the letter his lawyers wrote to the OSP did not appear to suggest that he was going to come back anytime soon. So what does that mean? Does it mean that the investigation should stall until he comes back at a time of his choosing? What should happen?
What was the overarching message that he gave to him? Was it that he had just left the country, or that he wasn't well? And didn't we all know at one stage, I thought we had the famous Abuso reading the budget on his behalf. Didn't it happen in Ghana? So we know the man's condition. When he went through 2 days of, what do you call it? 2 days of vetting. Didn't we see the many stops that had to, or breaks that he had to take to allow him to refresh and come back? So we all know these things happen, that the man is not well. And once they have told you he's not well, what's the problem? You understand?
I see. But so will you agree with those who say that, okay, now they say he's in the US, an address has been provided. If the special prosecutor is minded, he may travel there to have an engagement with him if it's so important.
He doesn't even need to travel. He can do that by Zoom. We all know today he can do a video link. We know how to contact him. So many things. We do a lot of videos here. Others do other Zooms, others do other things in America. I've forgotten some of them. They are all there. You can always get to talk to the person if you really want. If he's just strong enough to speak, he can speak. You don't need to be there. Gone were the days when we could, when your loved one travels outside the country, that means that you are doomed until he comes back. Because if you want to talk to the person, it was a huge problem and all that. These days, it's no longer a problem. You can contact him if you want.
How about people who think that the OSP been delayed because Kenneth Furata has been out of government for the past 7-8 months? The matters he was being investigated, or he's been investigated on, according to the OSP, national criteria like this started in 2017. The SML matter came to light in 2023, and all of that. These were matters that happened long ago, and that the OSP might have delayed in carrying out the action now. What do you think about that?
You are a media man, so you know what the issues are. Are you saying that you could have started during the time NPP was in power?
But
it's the same thing that is the same problem we are having with the current attorney general telling us stories about why he has discontinued cases. They won't do it. They dare not. They won't allow him to prosecute it. Just as he's also going about discontinuing and withdrawing charges. He's such a very powerful individual, So practically, yes. Ordinarily, that is why the office was set up, to avoid the situation of the Attorney General refusing to prosecute. So now we set up an independent office of special prosecutor, so he can handle the things that the AP can't handle. But the practical situation is that they are unable to do that. I don't know whether that is part of your discussion, because otherwise I'll go ahead and cite the example of the U.S. You see, those of you who watch CNN, we all know that prosecutors in New York are resigning in droves because somebody directed that they should drop charges against the mayor. And they said they won't. They won't. So they are leaving. So it's all a political decision. No one should tell me that he's taking personal responsibility for anything. It's order from above. He was ordered to do it, and those who want to do, we do it. Those who don't want to do, they, the culture of resignation is among the European advanced countries quite easy to do. You come to Africa, no matter what, you still want to hold on to office. But there, the least thing, the person resigns because he's not coming from school to have been appointed a minister. He might have worked and earned whatever he wants. And so when he resigns, he goes back. But in Africa, nobody resigns because this is all that he has. You understand where I'm coming from? So what I'm saying is that he couldn't have done it during the time, but he could have started maybe taking evidence and things. So, my brother, we want you in our office, or if you cannot come, we'll come over to you. Some concerns have been raised about this MSL or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Do we have your take on them? You understand? Then you start building a docket gradually, so that in the event that they leave office, you have something to rely upon. You can use that to go and take a warrant of arrest from the court. But you have done nothing. The guy had left the jurisdiction. Then you go about declaring him a wanted person. I mean, what's the meaning of that?
I see. So, so is that we should just wait for him to come, and then whatever the case is, we put him to it.
I think he even has a medical report from a doctor, isn't it?
The OSP doesn't place a lot of probative value, a lot of value on that letter from the hospital.
Who is it to say so? Has he charged him with anything for him to be running away? I remember when I charged those people, I've forgotten the name of that company, those who bought the Mercedes-Benz and they were not paying by using the assets of the company. We charge them. I said, once I've charged them, if anybody is not well, they should be brought to court to be on the stretcher. Let's all see that he's not well, and then we know what to do. But I have charged you, and you won't come, and you always tell me you are not well. That one, I have every right to disbelieve you. But this one, you have not even preferred in the charge. And from the way you are going, it appears you don't even know what charges you want to give to him. Because it's your duty is to prosecute the man. You are not supposed to use what the man is going to say as the basis of your charge. It is your prosecution witnesses who should come collecting the evidence left and right. I understand now he has recruited quite a number of people, because earlier we were told by Mathiami that he didn't have the personnel. So some people from the police department, attorney general department, were seconded to his office. But I now understand that he has recruited over 240 personnel. So they can build the docket for you. Let them go around to collect the information. It is for you to say that I'm satisfied from the evidence I have that you have caused financial loss to the state, you have stolen, you have involved yourself in corrupt practices, whatever. So why does he need him? Now let's go to the Constitution too. Is it not clearly written in the Constitution that nobody can be compelled to give evidence at his trial? And again, is it not the case that when you arrest somebody, you read him his rights and to tell him that you have a right to remain silent because anything you say will be used against you in court? So what do you need him for? Why should he come and give you evidence? And then we say, I won't give you evidence. We say, I've declared you a wanted person. Were we not in this country when somebody was tried in absentia? Is it a Maslow lady? She was tried in absentia, and then they even jailed him, and sentenced him to serve. And we are still looking for him to come. So go ahead and do what you want to do. Unless you want to play to the gallery, Otherwise, just go ahead and do your work.
So, for the purposes of education to our listeners and viewers, is it possible that even though he is not in the country, he could be charged? How will he be served with the charge sheet and the processes? And how would that happen? What does the law say about that?
You can publish it anywhere. These days, almost all journalists are reading law. We call about 1,000 people to the bar at the same time. So and now when I see people, I assume they are lawyers. Are we not aware that now you can even serve somebody through what we call WhatsApp message? You see, when the NDC went to court and they said they wanted the NPP guys and they could not find them, so they want to serve them by substitution. I think one of the things they did was really to serve them through WhatsApp messages and the rest. It's not a big deal. I'll publish it.
Thanks so much. Yes, we are so grateful that you make time, as always, to give us your views on these matters. Nia Ikotu is a former Attorney General appointed by former President Kufuor, and he served his term, and he's now a senior citizen providing insights to us on many of the matters. Yes.
But you've gone to him before you went to...
No, I thought he was in the middle of it, but I thought